Treatment must also address impulsivity. These general approaches are pretty straightforward and, with good technique, you can get dogs through situations relatively easily. However, it turns out there's more to these situations than just using the DSCC techniques in the reactive situations. In fact, the first thing that we often have to do is address the dog's impulsivity, lack of impulse control, and his lack of ability to look to the owners for guidance, especially when he's scared or highly excited. How are these things important? Impulsivity is the tendency for animals to perform behaviors without first thinking and evaluating the situation. Dogs with high impulsivity or low impulse control tend to rush towards items they want, food, people, dogs, and react in an extreme manner when excited, jump, whine, pace, bark, lunge. The more they practice acting impulsively, the more likely they will react impulsively when scared. These dogs also have an inability to look to their owners for direction, especially when they're scared or distracted. Luckily, one program can address both of these issues. In my version of the Learn to Earn program, where dogs are required to automatically say please by sitting for everything they want, every bit of kibble, petting, praise, attention, getting their leash on, going out the door, dogs learn that they can have what they want if they ask politely by sitting and looking at their owners for permission. In this intensive program, dogs can exhibit huge changes within a week. The trick is that the humans need to learn to reward the dog's good behavior consistently and must be aware of their every interaction so that they don't accidentally reward unwanted behaviors, such as jumping, whining, and pushing for attention. So, at the same time, this program teaches owners how to give the right body signals and cues that their dog naturally understands and how to actually provide leadership and guidance through skill rather than force. As an added benefit, once owners have these skills, they are better bonded to their pet and their pet feels more comfortable looking to their owners for guidance in the scary or highly exciting situations. The step-by-step approach. Now that you know some of the general approaches, here's the basic order of approach. First, keep safe. Avoid all situations where the dog is fearful or aggressive until you have gained the skill to work productively in these situations. And when you do work with your dog with visitors and unfamiliar people present, you may choose to avoid having the visitors or unfamiliar people give your dog treats. It can be unsafe to rely on other people to give treats because the visitor may do something inappropriate, such as moving too close, staring at, or suddenly trying to pet the dog. Or because they toss the treat too closely to themselves and the dog comes closer and then realizes he's too close for comfort and snaps. Instead, you, the owner, can give the dog the treats or have the dog perform exercises where he focused on you. Also, it's best to have the dog on leash, even on a gentle leader, snoot loop or halty head collar. Make sure you're holding the leash short enough that even if your dog does lunge towards people he can't reach them, e.g. he can only lunge a few inches. For added safety, some dogs will need to learn to enjoy wearing a muzzle. You can cut a hole in the front of the muzzle to give treats. See training dogs to love wearing a muzzle. Second, identify all other situations where your dog is fearful or highly aroused, e.g. uncontrollable barking, whining, lunging, and address these issues too. This is important because fear of objects and other things can heighten fear of people. For instance, if your human fearful dog gets scared of a loud noise or object in the morning and then goes for a walk, he's more likely to react fearfully to people on his walk. Similarly, if your dog practices rough, overly rowdy behavior, then, when he's fearful, he's more likely to display that fear with the same rough, overly rowdy behavior. Avoid the other fear and high arousal situations until you have the skills to modify the behavior in these situations. Generally, you can gain some skills quickly and just start working in the situations at the distance or intensity that you can handle. For instance, if your dog gets scared around inanimate objects on walks, when you see the type of object he might bark or lunge at or run away from, you can work at the distance where you know you can keep him happy and focused on you. Take your dog through Dr. Yin's version of the Learn to Earn program so that you can systematically and quickly develop the ability to provide direction for your dog, and so your dog can quickly develop the ability to control his impulsivity. Some dogs only take a few days to a week while others may take a month or two. The biggest variability is the human's awareness of what they are doing. If owners could be 100% consistent in rewarding desired behaviors and removing rewards for unwanted behaviors, they'd have a nearly perfect dog in just a week or two, but for many owners it takes weeks to become aware enough to be 80% consistent. The benefit of the Learn to Earn program is that even if you never reach professional level skill, you'll still be way better at communicating with your dog and moving in ways that make your signals and intentions clear. DSCC to the specific fear, reactive, and/or aggressive situations. Generally, this means going about your day in a normal manner, but whenever you pass an unfamiliar person, you have your dog perform the fun healing games so that he can focus on you while learning good things about the people that pass by. The better your technique, timing, and ability to use your body movement to help keep the dog focused on you, the more successful and efficient you'll be. Similarly, when guests visit, set the situation up so that you can keep Fido focused on performing replacement behaviors, and then you separate him from the guests if he's not completely comfortable and under good control. Also, DSCC to any handling type procedures that are an issue. In many fear or reactivity cases, the dog is also difficult for being handled in certain ways, such as for toenail trims or grooming. Generally, I recommend starting with classical DSCC, where the owner pairs the procedures with food and then increases interval between food until food is no longer needed. See training a dog to enjoy toenail trims. Once less food is needed, I often switch to rewarding a specific behavior, such as holding still for 10 seconds while being groomed and increasing the amount of time the dog must perform the good behavior to earn the reward. This is the overall approach to the fearful or reactive dog in a nutshell. It's all about addressing the dog's overall ability to look to you for guidance, and your ability to be aware of his emotional state and to reward desired behaviors and remove rewards for unwanted behaviors. Because the techniques do actually involve skill and technique, unless your dog is extremely easy, you will most likely need coaching. But now you'll know what to look for and you'll be aware of the common mistakes to avoid.